So it seems like everything works. Let's just go ahead and turn off XAMPP and try this from port 80. So I'm going to start XAMPP control, and I'm going to stop Apache, and then I'm going to go back here and restart the web server on port 80 instead. And now if I go to the uploader, I should get the same thing. And I can verify that it's working correctly by looking at the network. If I reload, it's calling list images rather than listimages.php. So I know it's using my Node.js version. Try one more. Upload. Great, so that's working. So let's clean the code up just a little bit. And the first thing I want to do is I'm writing JSON objects in a couple of places. So instead of having this code in line, I'm going to call write JSON, pass in the data and response, and then I'm going to define a function, write JSON, that takes an object and a response stream, and paste my code in here. Fix the indentation. And then here, and let's move that to the top. And call that instead of this. So write JSON, the response object, and response. So that's a little cleaner. And then instead of having this whole function in line, I'm going to move that up to here and name it so it's a little easier to read. Just make sure I haven't broken anything. Oh, I have broken something. So data is not defined in web server line 31, which is called from line 93. So this line, that should be object here. There we go. So it seems to be working again. Great. So that all looks pretty good. I could also add one for this. So this is writing the image. And this is going to take an image and a response. Let's make sure it still works. Yep, still looks good. So that's fairly easy to understand. Now let's clean up the image DB a little bit. And the first thing we want to do is this error listener and release connection, they're repeated in a number of places. And the only real difference is this error string. So for upload file, it says couldn't upload image. And for fetch image, it says couldn't fetch image list. That should just be couldn't fetch image. And this one is couldn't fetch image list. So let's start by pulling these two functions out. And then in order to work, this needs connection. And this one needs error and error string and connection. And it passes connection into here. And then this will be error string. So when we call error listener, like so, and then when we call release connection, we'll pass connection in. And then here, we'll pass that into error listener along with connection. And then get rid of these entirely. And then we'll do the same thing here. And we'll get rid of those. So that's looking a little better. But we can still cut some stuff out. And at least reduce the scoping here a little bit. So this returns if that's called, so we don't actually need this else statement. And then we can do the same thing here. And then this one, this argument is a function that takes error result and can be moved into here. So let's go ahead and cut that function out, paste it in here. We'll tab that, and then untab those, and then we'll call this upload metadata, and pass that in as the last argument. And that takes, and then we can get rid of that else clause and tab this all over. And then here we can return, get rid of the else, get rid of the level of indent. And then let's move this function out of the scope. And we'll call this return result. So that's a little flatter and easier to read. Let's go ahead and make sure everything still works. Nope, got a little error. Cannot read property remove listener of undefined image DB on line 13. So image DB line 13. So we're being called from line 103. And I forgot to pass connection in. And I also need it here. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, good so far. Let's try and upload. Close. There's the 3 files I just uploaded. So we can also get rid of some of these logging messages. So we'll leave this one in because it could be useful. Let's get rid of that. And we'll leave that in there as well. But we'll get rid of that. That looks good. So reload. Upload. Close. Still looks good. There. So that's more reasonable. So let's just fix one more thing. In my image DB, I'm passing this air parameter in and not actually doing anything with it. So let's go ahead and console.log it so we can see what's in there. And then we'll cause an error by uploading the doctor image. Which takes a while. So we got an error, and the thing crashed. Packets out of order. Got 2 expected 3 protocol as a code. So this is an object with some properties. And then reference error callback is not defined in image DB line 20. So image DB line 20 callback is not defined. So let's go ahead and make sure we pass the callback in. So everywhere we call error listener, we need to also pass an error string and a callback. So error string connection callback. So here didn't return result. And that's called, actually when we upload the metadata, so it couldn't upload metadata. And then the connection and the callback. And then next error listener, we'll pass in the callback here as well. And next one, we need an error. Oh. So here, we need a function that takes an error and it calls error listener, passing in error, and then the error string couldn't insert image, connection callback. And then same thing here. So this time, couldn't fetch image. And then this one needs a callback. And then same thing here. Couldn't fetch image list. And then this gets a callback. So those look good. Just save this and make sure we aren't crashing again. Okay, error couldn't upload image. So here's the error object we got, and this code is what we want to return. So let's also include in our error message the code. So error couldn't upload image, protocol packets out of order. Tweak that just a little bit. And then let's format this string a little bit. so that it shows up formatted in our tooltip. So that time I got an E connection reset. Let's try that again. That time I got protocol packets out of order. Let's try one more time. Let's see which one we get this time. Protocol packets out of order. So anyways, it's formatted. So that's reasonably good for now. And good luck on the last lab in the course.